Hello friends, Coach Bob here, and today we're going to be riding down the legendary Whitehouse Road in Leon County. It's a super twisty road and it is a lot of fun. I normally ride this on the triple, but today is going to be on the Can-Am Spyder. The roads were a little wet today, and if you ride this road on the triple, you will have your front tire be in your back tire, if you know what I mean. So we're going to take this ride and head on down to the Wacissa River, and I'm going to answer a few questions that we've been asked about on the channel, and we're going to have a flashback first. The year 1973. The movie White Lightning and the star Burt Reynolds. You know, Burt was driving down Main Street and he sees the sheriff, and he kind of pulls up there, and he's in this hot car that he ran moonshine in, and you know, thus the term White Lightning. And he looks at the sheriff and he goes, "You know, Sheriff, there's only two things I'm afraid of." The sheriff goes, "What's that?" He goes, "The women and the police." And I know you're saying, well, what does that have to do with riding a Can-Am down a twisty road down to the Wacissa River? Well, it's cause the story I'm going to tell you. It's about the women and the police. I will talk about that in just a minute after I catch my breath. So the first thing you may have noticed today is that I'm missing my wingman, Coach Vic. She wasn't feeling great today, so she opted to pass on the ride. Well, which means that all the subscribers and everyone watching this video needs to get the little emoji flowers and leave them in the comment section as a way to tell her to get better. Because I don't want to be riding by myself all the time. What's the point in being married if you don't have your wingman with you? Well, I'll tell you, there wouldn't be a point. So, Coach Vic, get well, girl. So that takes care of the women's side. Now, what about the police? Well, I just want to share a little story about a run-in I had with the police here not that long ago. So, I'm driving through this little town near Valdosta, and I come up to a stop sign. I see the police car off my left side. He's sitting in a parking lot, and I'm in a hurry. So I come up to the stop sign, and I stop. But I'm going to tell you, I stopped really fast. And as soon as I felt my car lurch backwards, I accelerated and made my left turn out onto Bay Tree Road, and immediately saw the lights come on the car, and the police officer waved me into the parking lot. And as you've probably had this happen, I felt that feeling in my stomach like, oh man, I'm gonna have to pay a ticket. Well, you know, at my age, it's not so much you can't afford it, it's just irritating at this point. So he pulls me in. Well, I pull up into the parking lot, and the guy's sitting in the car, and he's got the sunglasses on, and he's looking at me like, boy, you have lost your mind. And I said, well, what can I do for you? And he goes, you didn't see me sitting here? I said, oh no, I saw you sitting here. That's why I stopped. Well, he looked at me with a look of surprise on his face, and he goes, oh no, you did not stop. I'm like, oh, actually, I did stop. So the usual discussion ensued. Yes, I did. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. No, you didn't. I will explain that I get a lot of, I get a lot of joy out of these kind of confrontations. My wife tells me I'm a little weird, but, you know, I know that police officers are people too. And so I figure I'm going to have a little fun with this guy. If I'm going to get a ticket, you know, we might as well both get a little joy out of it. So I explained to him I actually did stop. Contrary to what he may have seen, I stopped. And he said, oh, no, you didn't, because I watched you and you just ran right up there and you just kind of paused. That's where I made my case. It's not the length of your stop. Are we talking about brevity? Are we talking about how long do you have to stop? And in the law, what does that even mean? Does that mean that I have to stop for like 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 4 seconds? What does that mean? And he goes, it means you actually have to stop. And so I said, well, if you were to talk about Newton's law of motion, about an object that's moving and an object at rest, once the inertia ceases to exist, that object is no longer moving. And so as I was going forward, once I felt my car lurch backwards, technically, I had come to a stop. Although it may not have looked like it, once the car lurched backwards, my inertia ceased to exist, and therefore, by Newton's law, I was an object at rest. And until I applied the accelerator, it would not be an object in motion. And therefore, I had in fact stopped. I do realize also that my stop was brief, but brevity does not indicate that I was moving. So, where are we here? Well, he looked at me like I had lost my mind. But at this point, he was in, and the game was afoot. He lowers his sunglasses kind of to the end of his nose, and he goes, well, whether you stopped or not at this point is not the point. If you will go back around and go to that stop sign and actually stop this time, I won't write you a ticket. So, of course, being the old geezer that I am, or I guess in the new world where they want to go boomer, make fun of me for being an older guy, which doesn't bother me at all, I go, so let me get this right. You're going to send me back to the stop sign for a do-over, like a third grader on the playground playing kickball or something. A do-over? Really? Well, at this point he kind of chuckled. He goes, well, you either do that or I'm going to write you a ticket. Well, I go, well, I will do the do-over if you do me a favor. Well, he says, I am doing you a favor. I'm giving you a do-over so you won't get a ticket. And I'm like, that's not enough. I got to have more than that, man. You got to do me a favor, a solid. He goes, all right, what kind of favor are you looking for? Well, I'm going to pause the story right there, and we are going to be pulling up here at the Wacissa. I'm going to get off the old Spyder and get the GoPros out and give you a look around. It's quite a nice place. Enjoy. Talk to you in a minute. One of the great things about living in the panhandle of Florida is this natural beauty. And we don't get the beach. We don't have a beach. But we have beautiful areas. And this is the Wacissa River. And it's wonderful. I used to come down here a lot in the kayaks when the kids were small. I had a couple of nice current design 17-foot sea kayaks, and they were awesome. After the kids grew, it seemed like I was just coming out here alone, and it just wasn't as fun. But I got rid of them, and I still like to come down here and look around. We do have just a lot of natural beauty. So I'm going to spin the camera around and just let you enjoy it just for a minute. And I'm going to turn the camera on, probably sit here for a few, and look around, walk around a little bit. So enjoy. How about you take a nice swim? So before I finish my story, this is where I make the shameless plug. You know, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. We're really trying to get the channel to grow, and we're seeing some progress. We're finally starting to get some traction, and so I want to thank you guys for subscribing. It really is awesome. The comments mean a lot to us. We lay in bed at night and read them and laugh, and we do try to respond to every one of them. We certainly give a thumbs up and a love. We do really appreciate the support you are giving this channel. Thanks a lot, and we do look forward to making a lot of fun videos together and having a great time. So I want to encourage all of you, especially the ones who have channels. I'm doing my best to go back and make sure that if you have videos that I'm subscribing to your channel and sharing it with others, because I want your channel to grow as well. So back to the story. Well, he looks at me and goes, "All right, so what kind of favor do you need?" And I explained to him, I said, my parents live 2 blocks over here, and I need you to keep an eye on them. My father's health is failing, and my mother has a lot of mobility issues, and it would really mean a lot to me if you would go over there and introduce yourself and keep an eye on things when I'm not here, because I can't be here all the time. And he guaranteed me that he would do it. I went and finished my errand, and I drove home. When I pulled up in the driveway, sure enough, a police car pulled up behind me, and it was that officer. He got out of the car, and he goes, "I'd like to meet your parents." And I introduced him to my mother and my father. They were a little in shock at first. They were thinking, what has he done now? I fought the law and the law won kind of thing. But it was really a wonderful thing. Months later, as my father's health continued to wane and he was having greater and greater issues, this officer, who we'll just call Hunter, he came to mean a lot to my family. And he has become a friend to my mother after my father's passing. He's become a friend to me and a friend to my sister and all of my family. And I am grateful for him. He is a fine officer, but more importantly, an exceptional man. To think that it all started with a crazy little confrontation in a parking lot. You just never know. Well, that concludes the video for the week. I hope you enjoyed the story, and go out, take care of yourself, love on that bride of yours, and seize the day. Always enjoy the journey, because if you don't, you're doing it wrong. God bless, and we'll see you next time.